Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Thought for Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, it's a interesting phrase for this Shabbat. As the Jewish people mourn the return of 4 hostages who are deceased, 2 of them babies. Since October 7th, 2023, I have often talked about Israel and the situation of the ceasefire and of the war. I've tried not to do it every Shabbat, but this Shabbat, there is a heaviness in my heart, and I feel anything but shalom. In fact, there's a piece of me that feels rage. And in fact, in this Torah portion, my Torah portion from my bar mitzvah from 44 years ago, it speaks about an eye for an eye. And there is an acknowledgement in my own heart, the older I get, that evil does exist in the world. In this current moment, it exists in the form of Hamas and all who support Hamas. On October 7th, 2023, a 9-month-old baby and a 3-year-old baby taken hostage. That is the definition of barbarism. That is the definition of evil. And as I sit here talking to you today, I don't know what to do with that feeling that evil exists in the world. There's a piece of me that likes the idea of living in a bubble that says, oh, my world is perfect here in Orange County, California. But the truth is much different. The world is a complicated place filled with so many blessings, so much goodness, so much love. And at the same time, there's a good amount of hate. There's a good amount of intolerance. And that acknowledgement is living in me these days. Torah portion Mishpatim comes after the 10 Commandments. We get the 10 general principles of how to live a good life, and then much more specific laws thereafter. But of course, the commandment that is irrefutable and absolute is thou shalt not murder. And yet we are returned hostages that were murdered. What do we do with that heaviness? How do we respond to such evil in the world? I'm going to do 3 things. The first is I'm going to gather with my community tonight at 7 o'clock to celebrate Shabbat with as much of my heart as I possibly can. Secondly, I'm going to love my family. I'm going to hold them close because these babies' deaths and all the hostages' deaths will not be in vain. It will inspire me to be even more connected, even more in touch, even more embracing of my family because life is so precious. And lastly, I'm going to double down on my efforts to live a full Jewish life and fight anti-Semitism at the same time. I have to know that which I'm defending, so I need to celebrate and practice my faith with all I have, and then to fight with every ounce of my body anybody who would denigrate Judaism or the Jewish people. I will stand up and use my voice to ensure that those voices filled with hate are drowned out by voices of love and tolerance. We, as a congregation, of course, are actively fighting anti-Semitism every day. But at the same time, we want to create allies in our community. And in fact, on March 27th, we are going to have an interfaith Seder in which members of the congregation will invite non-Jewish friends to temple for a Seder so that they can appreciate the values of our people, not just the headlines and the tragedy, but the values of what our faith teaches. Um, all those non-Jewish guests will come as the guests of the synagogue. Temple members will invite them and pay for themselves, but the non-Jewish guests will be part of our honor to have them as they learn about our faith. Friends, join us tonight. Let's hug each other, let's sing, and let's be with one another uh, during this moment, tough moment of Jewish history. Shabbat Shalom.